then it only has to be 15. Right?
Right.
What? What are you doing? Your dog shit the pants or what?
No, Randy definitely did, though.
Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm Randy Twyford. Thank you.
And I'm Emma Derflinger, and this is episode 65.
Episode 65. This is not the normal Sunday morning. We got some world travelers this week, so we had to kind of adjust our schedules. So we've been having a stare off here on a Monday night, staring at each other.
Stare off. Quite an adventure stare off.
Trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. And then we just kind of come up with an idea, trying to figure out what the hell to talk about, right? Mm-hmm. And we said, you know what, let's just take a walk down memory lane.
If anybody had any ideas of what they would like for us to talk about and discuss and cuss and percuss, put those percuss, kind of like percussion, beat the drums. And they could post. Where do they need to post that at, Emma?
You can DM us on all social media platforms or comment on YouTube videos.
DSM,
what's
DM
us.
Or do like
send
everybody does
message.
And just send Darren a messenger, because that's what's going to happen anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, send them directly to Darren. Saves me some time.
Yeah,
I had a fellow, speaking of sending you messenger, I had a fellow barbecue operator send me a video yesterday evening, of 4 women in a swimming pool, and he was in the swimming pool with them, going, "We love Twyford's barbecue. We love Twyford's barbecue."
I got that too.
You got that also? Yeah.
Oh yeah. He probably sent it to me. He probably sent it to me before you.
Oh jeez.
That sumbitch in Worley needs to spend more time in the barbecue restaurant than he does in the Lake of the Ozarks in the damn pool.
I thought he's friendlier than I thought he was, because he's worse than I am at striking up a conversation with complete strangers,
Oh, he's never met a stranger.
Okay.
So Worley, let me tell you how Worley works. So on Wednesday, Worley's coming over to Des Moines, right? He's got a big rib festival this weekend over in North Liberty, right? And he's going to come over and he's going to borrow my smoker, right? And I've ordered him in 270 racks of ribs at a discounted cost, my cost.
Right.
And I've got him 2 cases of barbecue rub, and I got him 3 cases of barbecue sauce. And he's going to take all that, take it over, and he's going to put those ribs on and cut them up and sell them and make all kinds of money, and then bring back the barbecue smoker to me. Right?
Well, at least you aren't cooking them for him.
Well, I might as well.
Yeah. You've pretty well done everything else. You've done everything else for him.
Done everything else for him.
Yeah. Well, I can't really say much. So I think Worley's a hell of a nice guy. So let's put it that way.
He's a good guy. I'm always glad to help. I mean, he's been doing this. He's got an old hickory, and I've been after his ass for years. Every time a trailer comes, and he bought a trailer to put his old hickory on years ago. I'm like, you got that on there yet? No. You got that on there yet? No. You need to borrow my long forklifts to get that on there? Yeah, I haven't got around to it. So, I mean, years. We're talking, it's probably damn near 10 years now.
Oh, boy.
That he's had the trailer and he's had the old hickory, but he hasn't figured out how to get the old hickory up on the trailer so he can take his own trailer to the event instead of driving to Des Moines and borrowing my trailer.
Right.
Taking it to the event. But if he did mine, then he'd have to buy ribs at his cost instead of my cost.
Right.
And I know how he works. You know, he's got his son and his poor wife, Cindy, and daughter. They go out there and they're sweating their ass off, right? And I know what Mark's doing. He's out talking to the crowd. He's just like you, Randy. They're out working their ass off, and he's out talking to the crowd.
Well, there's a lot to be said for PR.
Yep.
And that's not Puerto Rico. That's public relations.
Yeah, there is a lot to be said about Puerto Rico, too, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Whole different.
Probably 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
We're probably never going to talk about it either.
No.
Oh, yeah. Someday when we talk about
Maybe.
memory lane. But let's talk about competition barbecue and memory lane.
Yeah.
Because that's where.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, really.
No. Go ahead.
No.
Guys, we've been doing this podcast for this long.
I'm just the goat. I'm not the goat head.
Okay. How many of the contests that we all did there for a few years do you think are even in existence anymore? You got a better idea than I do. I have no idea.
I'm guessing none of them.
You don't think Madison's still going?
Oh, maybe Madison, Indiana is still there.
Right.
Boy, the long-standing ones?
Like what? Mason City's there, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not?
You used to come to Mason City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mason City, and then what was the state championship? Marshalltown? Is it still there?
It's gone. No, it's gone. Mason City, Marshalltown's gone. Shannon, Illinois is gone. Westmont's gone. Milwaukee's gone. Dubuque's gone. Yeah.
And there's some of those that were. There's some of those that were long-standing.
Long-standing. No, they're all gone.
Why do you think so?
Well, I think, it's like, take, for instance, Mason City. You had Howard Query and Ruth as assistant Ruth. And Howard Query, he passed away a few years ago. And Howard was the publisher of the newspaper and just a damn fine gentleman. And Howard he was also the executor of this trust. And this trust was responsible for spending down. Is that damn dog?
She's been up here. She just in her sleep, knocked a bone off the bed.
Oh.
And it startled both of us.
Make sure she wasn't screwing with the Legos again.
Shut up. She doesn't touch my Legos.
So anyway, but Howard was the executor of the trust. You think we ought to get that dog a microphone?
Might as well. She's in almost every episode nowadays.
So anyway,
she's not like Randy's dogs. At least she doesn't bark.
So Howard was the executor of an estate that spent a lot of money on public events and stuff. So he used a lot of that money to promote events, and they did a great job. I mean, it was a great event.
It was.
And then when Howard passed away, they tried to run it for a couple of years, and then they moved it, and it went downhill really fast. And it was just Howard was the face of it, and Ruth was his right-hand gal. And Ruth, but once that whole thing went away, it just lost its luster. And I think a lot of these things, once you lose your organizer, it just kind of goes away. And so, for instance, Mike and Teresa Lake ran Shannon, Illinois for years. And when they went away, it kind of went away.
Right.
And all these things, Marshalltown had Lou Miller. And once Lou went away, it went away. Madison, Indiana, they're still the same organizer, still there.
Right.
Still running. Washington Island, Wisconsin, Dick Jepson, he's still there. Once Dick goes away, I'm sure Washington Island will go away. So I think it has a lot to do with you've got some people in the barbecue community that run these events, and it's kind of their life, and they love it, and it's their way of giving back, and nobody's willing to put in that time.
That's what I was wondering.
Because it's a year-round commitment to running these barbecue contests, because it doesn't pay anything. You're raising all this money for charity, and hopefully in today's world, you're looking to even break even in the thing. And so, you got to love it. You got to love to be the organizer. You got to love to deal with the teams and the judges and all the headaches that go. It's kind of like owning a barbecue restaurant, right? You got to love to deal with the problems.
Right. What you said that they struggle to even break even. What's the issue with breaking even?
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean,
What's their expenses and everything?
Do the simple math. I mean, a team as a team, what are you willing to pay to go to a barbecue contest? You know, is $300 a fair entry fee? You know, so even if you get, let's say a normal average barbecue contest today gets 30 teams. You know, 30 teams at $300, you know, there's $9,000. Well, hell, even to bring in a power bank today is $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Porta potty is going to cost you a couple $1,000s. You know, even porta potty is going to cost you a couple. We haven't even talked about prize money yet. We're just talking infrastructure. And then normally you're renting a campground, you're renting whatever space, right? So you got to have a huge amount of money from an infrastructure. You got to have a huge amount of sponsors in order to make this happen. And when you start talking about sponsorships, where's the payoff for a sponsor?
Well, that's exactly right.
You know, where's that payoff for the sponsor? So, I mean, we sponsor as Smoky D's. We sponsor the Iowa State Barbecue Championship. Why? I don't know. There's no payoff for us. But, you know, old Joe Osbrink that runs it, he does a good job. And we like promoting Iowa barbecue, and that's why we do it.
Right.
You know, we throw 10 grand into that barbecue pool. Without it, they'd lose their ass. It'd be gone.
Right.
You know, now we kind of secretly throw 10 grand out there. I tell them, hey, I'm not sponsoring anything pro related because I still want to compete in that barbecue contest. So I said, I don't want to sponsor the pro money. You can put all the entry fees into that, but I'll pay for everything else, and I'll pay for all the backyard prize money, and I'll pay for the porta potties and the campground, and I'll pay for everything. But I'm not paying for any prizes for the pro because I want a chance to win those prizes, and I don't want there to be any conflict with us.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just a tough deal. The whole sport is a tough deal. You know, when you're talking about a $300 entry fee, when you're talking about a $250 brisket. I mean, I just ordered my pork today. I ordered some Compart pork, okay, because I've been doing pretty well cooking Compart pork, right? And I ordered 4 pork collars and 4 ribs, right, for my next contest.
Right.
300, and I don't have a sponsorship with them. I just cook it because I like it. Could I get a sponsorship and get a discount? Probably could, but I don't want to. I don't want to play that game anymore. Right. $330 for 4 little half pork butts and the 4 extra ribs. $330. $250 for a brisket. Okay. And then you take you add your chicken on top of that. And I mean, you're $600-700 in a meat bill, $300. You're $1,000 tied up in your entry fee and meat. You haven't started talking about travel expenses. You haven't bought any rubs or barbecue sauce yet, or charcoal, or wood, or anything.
Right.
You know, so you're going to go out now and spend $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 on a contest that if you win, you might win that. Only one person is going to break even, maybe 2.
Yeah. Right.
You know, we just flew to Boise, Idaho last week, right? And we went out there. We rented a U-Haul and we went through there. I mean, hell, we just spent $4,000 a piece to go to Boise, Idaho, and we kept it simple. I cooked on one drum. We drove out there, spent $4,000 a piece, and I won $2,200.
Yeah.
Why? Nobody paid for the trip there, but it was an adventure. We had fun.
Yeah, and that's the key.
But not everybody can do that.
Right. And then your number of people entries go down, and then your money for the prize money and stuff that goes down because of less entries. And then what's the for a contest to be a qualifier for the Jack Daniel's drawing and for the American Royal, what's it got to be? How many teams?
Well, it's 15 for a first year contest or 25 for a second year contest, unless it's the only contest in a state. If it's the only contest in a state, then it only has to be 15. Right?
Right.
What? What are you doing? Did your dog shit the pants or what?
No, Randy definitely did, though.
What?
What?
Randy just farted and his mic caught it.
Randy? You
Me?
farted and your mic
No.
caught it?
Yes,
No.
Randy. I just watched you sit up.
You're too observant. Back to your
Oh,
dog. Back to your dog.
That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Well, I heard it.
Wow.
I've never
Man.
heard it. And then I heard it sounded like a little trumpet. And then I was like,
I'm like,
and I turned
how-
and Randy was
I'm like-
readjusting himself.
how in the hell did she smell Randy's fart through that microphone?
Yeah.
No, I heard it. I heard.
Well, anyway,
And
on
then-
to another set. On
It
to
was
our,
just-
where we were at.
Well, so, just what Emma needed.
Yeah.
Just what Emma
I
needed.
did.
So back to so this kind of brings us about to where we were headed, right? So
Right.
so this whole contest thing, but it takes us back down memory lane because we never did this for money.
No.
We
No,
did
hell
this for
no.
fun. We did
Exactly.
this for fun, right? And we did this for fun. So, and we had just as much fun back then. Now, of course, we liked the competitive part of the contest,
Sure.
but back there, we weren't cooking a $250 brisket, and we weren't cooking $300 pork, right?
Just who could get the best thing at
Walmart,
Sam's.
Sam's Club, whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And we were, but the reason we were going is because all our friends were going,
Same here.
right?
Yeah.
You know, so you went back. So Randy and I met back years ago. Ray Lampe had a class.
What year do you think that was?
2004.
2004? Okay.
Yep.
20 years ago.
2004. So, old Mike, they called it that we were on the barbecue forum. So Mike in St. Louis was a guy on the. So but this was before Facebook and Google and whatever.
Mhm.
So the only way you learned how to barbecue was you got the bowl sheet from KCBS, and the bowl sheet was their monthly newsletter, and you were able to look and see where a contest was. And the way you learned how to barbecue was you either learned it in the backyard, or you looked up and you signed up for a contest, and you went to the contest, and you would do what we would call shigging today. So we
Right.
went. And we went to a contest, and you talked to people. You walked around on Friday night, and you just had a few beers, and you learned everything you could from people about how to cook barbecue.
Yep.
And it took a series of years before you could learn how to do that. So Ray Lampe decided to put on this class, and he was Dr. Barbecue. He still is Dr. Barbecue. And so a lot of well-known barbecuers at that point went to Ray Lampe's class. So we traveled all the way to Metropolis, Illinois, which is clear southeast.
No.
of St. Louis.
No, Effingham.
Effingham, sorry.
Yeah.
Effingham, which is just a little bit farther east of Metropolis, sorry.
Right.
And so we set up in Effingham, Illinois, and Rod Gray, who's the current KCBS president, was there, and Buzz Dean was there, and QOw, and Candy Sue Weaver, who owns a pellet company, and Podge, our buddy Podge, Chad Hayden, who won the Jack back in 2006, 7, maybe 8, 9, I don't know. I lose track of time.
Scotty
But
was there,
we-
wasn't he?
Scotty Johnson was there, and we learned the basics of barbecue,
Yeah.
right? And that's first where we learned what a money muscle was. A money muscle in pork, but a money muscle then wasn't what a money muscle is today. So a money muscle then was kind of that whole end of a pork butt, the entire end, which included the money muscle today and all the tubes, and you cut that entire money muscle off and you slice that and turn that in. And it was relatively thin slice back then. You could probably get 10 of them out of a butt, unlike today where people use the very end muscle and you can only get 6 of them out. And remember, all his sauces include Texas Rib Ranger sauces mixed with honey. That was the majority of his sauces.
And Blues Hog.
No, I don't even remember.
Yeah,
Blues Hog
yeah,
back
he
then.
he did a lot of Blues Hog stuff.
Did he do Blues
That's
Hog?
kind
I
of when
just
Bill
remember-
was. That's kind of when Bill was just kind of coming into the scene on
Yeah.
sauces and stuff. and was making
So
them out
anyway-
of his house.
So we learned how, and that's where Sherry learned how to make her first parsley box. Now, Rod Gray, there was only 3 people on the circuit at that point making parsley boxes. Johnny Trigg, Mike Davis from Lotta Bowl, and they had taught Rod Gray how to make a parsley box. And Rod pulled Sherry aside and showed her how to make a parsley box. And then that was definitely a competitive advantage at that point. And it was secret. We were sworn to secrecy. You don't show anybody how to make it. And it was like the perfect putting green. And it was amazing. And we learned so much that time, but we stayed up and we had all kinds of fun that night.
Yeah.
It was cool. I remember it being colder and shit in the morning. But we sat there and we learned how to barbecue, and we all became friends, and all of us are still friends today. As a matter of fact, I think all those people at that class are still alive and well today.
Right.
In the barbecue world. And we just had a grand old time.
And still keeping some sort of contact through Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt many of them have Instagram. You're probably the only one that does, Randy. I think I have one, but I don't really use it. But...
That's a lie and a half, but okay.
What the Sam hell are you talking about?
What, Instagram?
Yeah. You liked my post 3 days ago.
Oh, I was just out looking at porn and it happened to show up.
Ew.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I thought you deleted your Instagram too, Emma, and then it popped up again. Then why did one pop up wishing your brother a happy birthday today?
Because you didn't let me finish.
Did you bring it back in today and then delete it again? Will you make up your mind, Emma?
Will you let me finish?
How do you get into the porn through Instagram?
Randy.
I don't.
God.
Oh, Randy, I'm on Instagram for one reason only.
Don't say it.
It's Livy Dunn. That's what it is. Livy Dunn is the only reason I'm on Instagram.
That's Livy just...
Dunn. What do you mean? She is an athlete.
Yes. She is an athlete. Dating a professional baseball player.
I don't care about that baseball player. Livy Dunn.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I was off Instagram. And then I did reactivate my account when I posted that picture of my boyfriend and I, and then I kept it. But I have
I thought you said you got rid of it the other day.
No, I said I deleted I logged out of my account.
Oh.
But I have since relogged in. It's the only thing I have. I don't have Facebook on my phone. I don't have TikTok. Actually, I downloaded TikTok for an hour, saw 2 very disappointing TikToks, and then I deleted it for, I think, good. I think I'm off that app forever.
No, you'll
My
be
feelings
back.
got hurt. No, I don't think I will. It didn't bring me joy, as my mom would say. If it doesn't bring you joy, you shouldn't keep it around.
I had a lot of joy this morning when your mom walked through the door. She got a big old hug.
That's
Gave her
kind of surprising.
Kind of surprising. It was like one of the best days of my life. Don't tell my wife that. It's like one of the best days of my life.
Well, she was happy to be back. She only called me 3 times.
I gave her a big old hug and I said, I'm so glad. I am so glad, to have somebody that can think. Right?
You have plenty of employees who can think.
I have plenty of employees. You're right.
You shouldn't dog the other employees.
I have plenty of employees that can think. But it's just, your mom was always one that was like, just take care of your shit, right? Just take care of your shit.
Yeah.
And I had today, I'm like, hey boys, I need to get this smoker cleaned out, and I need you to get new racks in here, and I need you to get new tanks put on this thing because Buddy Worley needs to borrow this thing. And he goes, I said, and the thing's over there and the keys, whatever. He's like, well, I need to talk to Jim about that. I'm like, you need to talk to Jim about what? Well, I need to talk about what the propane is. I'm like, no, if the bottles are facing out, the propane tanks are full. If they're empty, you turn them the other way and we know they're empty. Well, I need to talk to Jim about that. No, you don't need to talk to Jim about it. Open the propane thing and haul the 2 bottles over here. I can see across the parking lot. There's 2 of them that are full. Go open the cage and haul them over there. Well, I need to talk to Jim about it. No, you don't have to talk to Jim about it. It was just like, let me just go get the propane for you.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just like,
It's
just like,
interesting
Amanda?
when they question you.
I'm just like, Amanda, can you get the propane? She's like, on it.
It's when they question you is that
Just like,
that's interesting choice, but
yeah.
teach their own,
And this,
I guess.
and this is trying to be a plumber and fix a sink and an electrician and trying to fix a smoker at the same time. And I'm just like, just do this shit.
You're in confrontation over propane tanks.
Just take care of it. Just get it done. If you don't know how to do it, just ask somebody that knows how to do it. Right?
That's why I got called today, because I am back to being Smokey D's IT department.
Right. Perfect.
And she was like, "Hey, how do I do pretty much all this stuff?" Well,
Yeah, she was trying to figure out this damn keyboard, and I said, "You know what I'd do with that keyboard? What?" And I said, "I'd throw that fucker in the trash and go down the street and buy you a new one that you know how to work."
Well, we got it figured out, and that one's really expensive. You should keep it.
I'd go throw the shit in the trash. Anyway, let's talk about barbecue. Nobody wants to talk about our IT problems. So anyway, so let's talk about the good old days, Randy. Let's talk about some of these barbecue contests that are gone forever, and maybe some of them that aren't gone. You know, like Fire and Ice. And I tell you,
all-time classic.
So all-time classic. People may have
of
not
craziness,
heard of Fire and Ice.
of fucking craziness.
Right. So Fire and Ice was a contest up on Mille Lacs Lake, okay, which is about an hour and a half, I think, north of the cities. And some of the Minnesota Barbecue Society boys started with Tony Courthouse. Tony owned a place, a barbecue store, and he had an idea, or at least somebody put the idea in his head, and Tony pulled it through, that we were going to cook a barbecue contest out on ice in the middle of January, February. I think it was the end of March. And so he put together a barbecue contest and signed up, and he was like, "Hey, will you guys show up?" And, hell yeah, we'll show up. And so we went up and we cooked a barbecue contest on about 18 inches of ice at the end of March. And so we went up and they rented out ice fishing huts. And you put your smokers outside. You could bring your own trailer if you wanted, but nobody was stupid enough to do that except for a couple of them. We threw smokers in the back of our pickup trucks, and we put our smokers outside, and then we would put tables inside the fish huts, and then we rented a cabin on land to sleep in. And then early in the morning, we'd venture out on the ice, and it would be 20 below zero. And I remember it being 20 below zero as we pulled onto the ice, and we would cook a barbecue contest, right? And we cooked with Randy one year. We cooked with Brian and Carrie one year. It was kind of always a team-up thing. We won it twice. Randy and I won it once, and Brian and Carrie and us. What team did we cook under? Randy?
I have no idea. No, I don't.
You don't?
How can you not remember a competition like that?
What did we cook under? Because we cooked under, I know. So we cook under, Brian and Carrie, we cooked under 50 Shades.
Oh my God.
It was 50 Shades. What was it? We have shirts. Was it? It wasn't 50 Shades of Q. Maybe it was 50 Shades of Q. It was 50 Shades of something. And that's back when the movie just first came out.
Yeah, I figured.
We didn't cook under we cooked under Smack Talk Barbecue.
Yeah, Smack Talk Barbecue. Yep, you're exactly
right.
There
it is. Light bulb.
We cooked under Smack Talk Barbecue. And so we had a hell of a time. I still got pictures on my phone. We had a hell of a time. And so we cooked this barbecue contest, and I'm not sure if that was the first inaugural one we won or the second one or whatever, but you and Marla and Sherry and I, we cooked this, and what was fun about it was, here it is, it's 20 below, we're on 18 inches of ice, and we're cooking in T-shirts because it's 70 degrees in the ice house, and it's colder than shit outside, but all you're doing outside is going out to
just
check
ducking in, ducking out.
Ducking in, ducking out. It was so much fun.
That was the time, that was where Turk declared himself king.
Yeah, and he was General Turcado. Dictator Turcado.
Dictator Turcado.
Yeah.
And whatever he wanted to do, he could do. Somebody would ask him, well, what about this? He goes, as a dictator, we'll fucking do it. Or, no, you can't fucking do it. And somebody get mouthy with him, you're going to get banished from the ice. I remember him doing that.
Yeah, so
And,
Jeff Turcotte was his mom and dad owned a trucking company in Minnesota, and when his father passed away, he became owner of the trucking company, and he quickly made his wife president, and he quickly retired, and so he became. He only ever showed up for work for board meetings. Still the same way. I think they sold it off, so now he absolutely does nothing.
Right.
But now he let
snowmobiles.
Now after 15 years, he let his wife retire too. But yeah, he was in charge of the snowmobiling club and the 4-wheel club, and so we always had a blast. We always had so much fun at thing. But the one year you brought that CTO on your little trailer, I still have pictures of you.
Yeah, we did.
CTO.
It's an old hickory.
Oh,
It's an old hickory. It's like a mailbox. It looks like a mailbox.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the lid opens up. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we did
Randy,
bring that up there on a small trailer.
Yeah, you brought that up. You insisted we bring it up, and then we couldn't get the sucker to work because it was so cold out.
Right.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
The best thing that worked up there was Weber bullets. That's kind of what everybody was cooking on, Weber bullets.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through pictures, looking, and we go into the bar because everybody going to the bar, and remember the couple from Oskaloosa, and we go in and we play butt darts.
Yeah,
and you'd put a quarter between your butt, and then you'd hop along the floor, and then you try and drop a quarter into a cup. Remember that? Mike and Cheryl Applegate. Mike and Cheryl.
Yeah, Mike and Cheryl.
Yeah, we always played butt darts. So it was probably one of the drunkest weekends we ever had, but we always had a grand old time. It was just a great contest. Madison, Indiana, still there today on the river of Madison, Indiana, down in southern Indiana. We always went there. That's where the term shiggin came from.
Right.
But we were always on Asshole Alley down there.
Yeah, way down at the far end. And
way down at the far end. We had so much fun with the Shiggin and Grin, or the not Shiggin and Grinnin, but the Shigs and Pit Boys and Old Podge and Old Dave.
Old Dave was there, always there. And Zinkum.
And Zinkum. We always had Shipley burgers. We had traditions at all these contests. And that's one thing we always did. We always ate the local food. We always went and supported the local businesses.
As you should.
But the Shipley burger, there was just always controversy. So what's her name? Podge's friend, the redhead. Dale and.
Oh, yeah. He's passed away.
No.
The reps? The reps?
No.
Just over here saying people are gone.
She had the Nishnabotna chicken. God damn it! I'm just terrible with names.
Dale,
the Lippy brother, Matt and Lippy's, and Dale, and anyway. They always fought over it. They always said the Shipley burger was a frozen patty, and we always fought with them because we always watched the local grocery store deliver their ground beef, and they'd press it flat on the grill.
They were doing.
We always fought with them.
They were doing the flat burgers like everybody does on the smash burgers. They were doing smash burgers before they were the thing to do.
Before they were cool. Before they were cool. And they used to put tiger seasoning on them, like tiger sauce, but tiger seasoning.
What's tiger seasoning?
Well, it was MSG in a bottle, pretty much.
Oh, got it.
It was salt and MSG in a bottle.
Got it.
It was kind of fun. So it was always a track for us. I mean, it was about a 9-hour track.
That was a pretty good haul, yeah.
But it was good. I mean, we
went
back.
The Fire and Ice one?
No, that was Madison Riverfest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they always
I missed that part.
They always had a balloon lighting there. I mean, it was just a great small town contest. Still happens today, second week in August.
Are you going?
I believe. No. No, I got a breakfast restaurant to open this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How could we forget?
Yep.
You know what I think we should do? We should make a new memory, the three of us. And I think we should go to that barbecue competition in Switzerland. As cue the mic.
The one in the Alps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the three of us.
You sponsoring it?
No, but I'll give you free labor.
There is no labor when it comes to a barbecue contest.
Well,
No.
I'll give you comedic relief.
You're not
Consider
that
it
funny.
entertainment. Oh, okay. Okay. I can be funny sometimes if I want to be. Maybe. I don't know. See? Got you to laugh there. Boom. Hilarious.
That's right.
No.
What
Fine.
other memories, Randy? Other contests?
Westmont.
Westmont?
Well, Westmont was always a classic, but the Field of Dreams, that was always a good one.
I love the field.
Shannon,
Field of
Illinois.
Dreams.
Shannon, Illinois. So Shannon, Illinois, for those that don't know, Shannon was just outside Rockford, Illinois, and Mike and Teresa Lake, longtime KCBS reps, put on a local contest, and it was the who's who of barbecue. They would draw
Literally.
They would draw 70 or 80 teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they would hold the contest out in the ball fields of this small little town of Shannon. I mean, we like doubled the population.
Oh, not like
of
at the
Shannon.
actual Field of Dreams. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Okay,
No,
got it.
No.
But
Got it.
That's what they called it.
So they had this row, and we called it Millionaires Row, where Johnny Trigg and all these guys would pull up, and they would have their motorhomes, and they were in Millionaires Row because they got to plug into a 110 outlet, and that was the biggest power that they had, and so we would make Mike park us as far away as we could from anybody. And then pretty soon, everybody wanted to park by us. And so out in the middle of this field out in center field was everybody parked around us. And it was Asshole Alley. And everywhere we went became Asshole Alley. Anytime Randy and I were around, hey, you guys go out to Asshole Alley. Because we always wanted to park away from everybody.
Well,
everybody would congregate around us.
And then there was no power at all. And they didn't provide any or anything like that. So now there was some around the baseball diamond. There was some 110 stuff because I remember Smokey Joel and those, they had a little bit of electricity over there, but nothing to run much.
That was just to run the Mai Tai blender.
Yeah, run the blender.
Mai Tais.
And then everybody had generators, and then Kevin Gross showed up one year and parked out there by us, and he had a generator from Farm and Home Supply that was so goddamn loud you could not hear yourself think. And so we kind of banished him away, made him move away from us, and he put cardboard around his generator to try to keep the noise down, but it was so friggin' loud, you know.
Oh, it was. But some of the memories of Shannon. So we'd cook the contest at Shannon, and one year I was cooking Shannon, and back then we didn't cook Wagyu brisket. There was no such thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so we always cooked CAB, Certified Angus Beef Brisket.
Okay.
And we would age these briskets in our refrigerator for like 45 to 60 days, and you would age these briskets till they started to kind of puff up in the cryovac, and then you knew they were just about right to cook. Right. And I showed up at the contest, and I had one that was just a little bit stinky. You opened up the cryovac, and it was just a little stinky, but I'm like, I think it's okay. I'm going to cook this. So I rinsed it off, and it was still a little stinky, but I'm going to go ahead and cook this. So, so I cooked it, and I put it on the cooker, and I'm not one to ever taste my food, but I cooked the contest, and I took a little bite of my brisket after I cooked it, and boy, this sumbitch is rotten. I mean, it's rotten. And so I went over to my ex-partner, Shad, and I said, hey, and he's next to me, and I said, hey, taste my brisket. And I give him a slice of that brisket, and he pops it in his mouth, and fuck, he spits it out. And he goes, that son of a bitch is rotten. And so then I grab another piece of it, and this is during brisket turn-in. I grab another piece right quick, and I take it over to fucking Scotty Johnson. I said, hey, try my brisket right quick. And he goes, God damn, that's fucking blue cheese. That's blue cheese. And so I went back to my trailer, and I just put a bunch of sauce on that son of a bitch.
You did not.
And I turned it in.
Did.
And I got
Darren.
first place. And I got first place in brisket and got a perfect score that day. And
yeah,
so,
that's the honest to God's truth.
And then
No
the next,
way.
Yeah. And then the
Rotten brisket.
And the next year, I did the same exact thing at the same exact contest. Matter of fact, I went over to Scotty Johnson. I said, you want to try my brisket? He goes, get that fucking thing away from me. And it was the same exact thing. And I put a bunch of sauce, and by God, if I didn't get a goddamn 180 again.
So that's where the
You're
term
kidding.
blue cheese briskets came from.
Blue cheese brisket. Anytime anybody sees Scotty Johnson, you ask him about my blue cheese brisket. He gets so
you're
pissed every
telling
time.
me you should have given people food poisoning twice?
No, it wasn't giving food poisoning. I was just aging. It was just people pay money for this wet age stuff now.
Ugh,
It was just
not
wet
meat.
aged. It
A little
was just
wet,
wet
a little too
aged.
wet, a little too wet.
Man.
My mom would be mad at you.
She'll get over it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But so
That's not
after
healthy.
after this contest, and so they always had this contest called the butt to butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you qualified at all these different contests. If you won pork at like 8 or 10 contests, like you had to win the American Royal or Waukoma, Iowa, or they had like 8 or 10 contests. You qualified to cook in the butt to butt contest, which was another contest within a contest at Shannon. And you turned in a separate, on Friday night, you turned in a butt to butt. And I got to cook the butt to butt a couple times. And if you win the butt to butt, they pull you up in front of a crowd, all 10 contestants, and they announce 9th place. And then they announce 8th place. And they get down, and here's the 10th place winner and the 1st place winner. And then they announce whoever wins. And you win a coveted boar's tooth. So they actually take a tooth out of a boar when they kill it. And you win a boar's tooth, and it was a pretty coveted trophy back then.
Yeah, it really was.
The butt was it meant you were the best pork cook in the world.
Yeah, it really did.
And we won that one year, and it was
you just
it was
have
a
a boar's
crazy
tooth?
thing. Yeah, it used to hang in the restaurant, right by the Coke machine, right there. It was a trophy there, and it had a leather thing on it.
Oh, yeah. I do actually know which one
Matter
you're
of fact,
talking about.
It's probably hanging out here somewhere in this office, but
I think it might be upstairs
yeah, it's probably upstairs.
in the mezzanine.
But the boar's tooth, and then after the contest was over, everybody would go to Mike and Teresa's house, which was just a half a block up the street.
Just across the street.
And Teresa would order about 20 Casey's pizzas, and everybody would take their own chair. And she always was sponsored by Dr. McGillicuddy's. And so she'd have a case of Dr. McGillicuddy's menthol schnapps. And she would start. And so she had a friend across the street that was the pie lady. And the pie lady always won the dessert contest cooking her pies. So the pie lady would make all these pies and desserts. And everybody would kind of have a buffet, and we'd eat pizza and pie. And then as we're sitting around shooting the shit after this contest, Teresa would go, here's two, and she would flip off the lid, and she would throw the cap away, and we'd pass around about 50 people. We would pass around a bottle of Dr. McGillicuddy's menthol. And when it was empty, whoever had the empty bottle got the honors to walk over and throw the empty bottle into the pine tree of Pie Lady across the street, into her pine tree. She had a huge pine tree. And so that was a tradition. And so until you emptied all 12 bottles. Well, one year we're sitting around, Randy and Grandpa Cheese and a bunch of us, Scotty and whatever. We decided not only are we going to do this Dr. McGillicuddy's thing, we had bottles of Jack Daniels.
Oh,
and we're going to do
jeez.
our own little circle while they're passing Dr. McGillicuddy's. We're doing that too, but we're also passing bottles of Jack Daniels. And so we're just, as you can imagine,
Prayers
drunker,
needed.
prayers needed, drunker than shit, right?
Jesus.
And so let's just say Marla, Randy's wife, had to get escorted back to their camping spot one night. And so we all make it back safe. Well, in the middle of the night, an ambulance shows up, right? And nobody knows, everybody's worried, and it shows up at old Grandpa Cheese's trailer. And they haul Grandpa Cheese off to the hospital. And we're like, And this is, we didn't have cell phones then. Nobody knew what was going on. And everybody's worrying all night long. And the next morning we get up and sit next to the trailer. And up comes Grandpa Cheese walking across the field with a cup of coffee in his hand.
Just as perky as could be.
Just as perky. And, hey, Cheese, what's up with the ambulance? And he said, Vivian, his wife at that point, Vivian thought I was having a heart attack. She called 911. When we got to the hospital, the doctor thought I was having too much alcohol. So they gave me an IV and sent me home. He had alcohol poisoning.
Randy, it's time for bed.
Is that your nighttime, Randy?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that late?
So anyway, I mean, we've had so many memories, and today when people think about barbecue contest, when you talk to people today, they don't talk about memories like this.
I was going to say, you don't even.
They talk about whether I got a 9 or an 8 or a 7 or them fucking judges. We didn't talk about judges. We didn't give a shit.
Because
well, now you do.
At that time, the judges could hang out with you on Friday nights. So, we were friends. We were friends with most of the judges. You know,
more humanized.
Yeah.
Yeah, and instead of the deal where they banished them, they can't be around until after awards. Well, that's when we're always loading up and stuff. And that was some of the best times is when judges would come by and we'd get them half fucking liquored up and visit with them. And you know, you talk about Darren going around and learning from other cooks. That was a time, if you remember right, when judges would be honest with you. I mean, how much we learned from them about what people are looking for, what they're not looking for, some of what goes on behind the curtain at the judging. You know, they would say, and you know, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was just fun times. I mean, we did one contest once. We did 2 contests, so we had just another great memory. So we cooked a doubleheader once, and we started in Milwaukee, okay? And so we were at Harley Davidson's. It was their 105th anniversary, okay? And so we were downtown Milwaukee, and I'm not sure if you've ever been downtown Milwaukee, like downtown Milwaukee, but the street signs say corner of Assault and Battery, okay? And we're in a church parking lot, okay? And we're literally the only white people within 3 miles of this place.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean...
I'm going to be in Milwaukee in 3 days.
Okay. So the organizer made it very clear to us, you do not leave this property without security. We don't care wherever you want to go, but you are assigned security. You do not leave. So on Friday night, we said, hey, we want to go to dinner. Here, you take security with you. So we took security with us to dinner. Security brought us back. Right? No big deal. And so we all cooked this contest, right? And so we're sitting around on Friday night having a few drinks and in the church parking lot, right? And this little old lady comes over And just, she had to be 80 years old. Just a frail little old black lady. And she comes up and goes, what are you guys doing? And he said, we're cooking a barbecue contest. Well, do you have any meat for sale? And we said, well, no, we don't have any meat, but we'll have some tomorrow. I tell you what, if you show up at 1:30, you can have all our meat for free because we're going to Dubuque. We don't need this meat. We will have, and we had like 8 of us doing this. We will give you all the meat you want. And she was almost in tears because she's like, I have all my family to feed. I would just love that. And we said, you just make sure you're sitting here with your car at 1:30. We will have all this food we will give you. And by God, at 7 o'clock that morning, she pulls up in her car with the biggest spread of eggs and homemade biscuits and grits, and she made us all breakfast.
Yeah, made us all
That's
breakfast
nice.
that
She
morning.
made this most amazing breakfast made from scratch. And we said, okay, you be back here at 1:30. And at 1:30, we filled her trunk full of barbecue. And I mean, she literally was in tears. And so at that point, so we're cooking this contest and we're going to Dubuque. Okay, we're cooking a doubleheader. And so Dubuque was about 4 hours away. And we're trying
Is
to
it that
figure
far
out,
across there?
yeah, I think so. 3.5, 4 hours
Mhm.
away. And
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out how we're going to get out of Milwaukee because it's Harley Davidson's 105th anniversary.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
And
bikes
it's
everywhere.
bumper to bumper bikes.
Mhm.
Well, old Grandpa Cheese, he's a thinker. And so we had a friend, Darren from Smokin' Troopers, that he was the head of the Wisconsin State Patrol. And he calls Darren and he says, hey,
Of course you
Darren,
did.
we got a problem. What? And he goes, oh, you don't have a problem. What time you boys need to leave? And we said, well, about 2:30. He said, well, no, he said about 3 o'clock. He said, because we're going to turn in at 1:30. Awards are at 2:30, about 3 o'clock. And he says, you boys be hooked up to your trailer. I will have 4 squad cars sitting there, right? Waiting on you. So we went to awards. So Shad, my ex-partner, he actually won that day. I got reserve. So Shad won a brand new Harley that day. And I got reserve. And so we went to, and it was hotter than shit. God damn, it was hot. And so we took off and we were going to Dubuque. So the state troopers said they had 2 in front, 2 in back, and we had 8 people, 8 trailers.
Mhm.
And they said, do not stop at any stop sign. Do not stop at any stoplight. Follow us, 2 in front and 2 back. They gave us a police escort all the way out of Milwaukee, like 30 miles out of Milwaukee. And we got a full,
That was
we got a full
incredible.
police escort all the way out, honking all the way. It was just great. Lights on, sirens on. We got the VIP presidential treatment all the way outside of
Yep,
Milwaukee.
that was incredible.
That's
It
crazy.
was like crazy. Well, then we showed up to the contest. We didn't get to Dubuque until the sun was starting to go down. And we had told the organizer in Dubuque, we said, hey, we're going to be getting there a little late.
Mhm.
Could you just set up, leave us this field, this open field, and we'll just park in this open field. So when we pulled in, they got this open field, and all these teams are sitting there, and they knew what had happened in Milwaukee, and we all pulled in together. And we pulled a wagon train. And so we pulled in, and we're all honking and flipping all the other teams off, and we start doing this wagon train. And we're just going around in circles, all 8 of us. And then we just stop. And that's where we parked.
That's where we set up for the night.
And that's where we set up. We all stopped. And we got everything ready. And then, of course, every one of my most vivid, the worst I've ever felt was it's 100 degrees outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
hell, hotter than hell.
And as you can imagine, the scalding from a barbecue guy
Mhm.
in 100 degrees.
I wasn't even going to tell this story, but go ahead.
So
I'm so scared.
so
I'm so scared. I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
So these guys decide that they want to go out to eat in Dubuque, right?
Uh-huh.
We're all hooked to our trailers. We're going to walk across the highway, across an overpass, and walk a half a mile to a restaurant and eat and walk back.
Okay.
Now, before I leave, I'm pretty much in a porta potty trying to figure out with paper towel, with toilet paper, if I'm bleeding or not before I leave. Right? And it's almost impossible to put Gold Bond on because I'm trying to figure out what hurts worse, the bleeding or the burning of the Gold Bond, right? And this is back before spray Gold Bond was invented.
Yeah, you were powdered it.
And so I'm a trooper. I'm a trooper.
Oh, God.
I'm a hungry boy. And so I start walking, and we get to the top of that bridge, and I'm like, I am not going to make it. I am not going to make it. But I made it. I made it. And when I get back, I am like dying. And that is the moment Randy Twyford saved my life.
Yep, I did that night.
Randy Twyford saved my life. And he's like, I got something that can cure you.
It's a miracle cure.
I have a magic elixir. And so Randy had this little bottle of a steroid cream. He says, I want you to put this on, and by morning, you will be a new man.
He called bullshit on that one.
So I went and I put on my night shorts, and I still remember sitting in that Lufuma chair that night with my legs spread up high with the magic elixir on.
With the fan.
Sat there with a fan on the rest of the night. And when I woke up in the morning, I was ready to run the Olympic 400-meter dash. And Randy saved my life that day.
You know, the all-time classic, though, was when we were walking up through there, and I said, Darren, you looks like you're chafing a little bit. He goes, I think somebody's taken a cheese grater and rubbed it between my ass.
And so that year for my birthday, somebody got me a birthday card that was toilet paper, but it was made out of cheese grater.
Oh, God.
It was so bad. Randy saved my life that day. But
you call it,
but in the end, I was the high. Then Cheese won that day, and I got reserve, and I won the first annual and the Never Again Caravan of Carnage trophy for being the highest scoring team between the two contests.
Huh.
We'd all put so much money, so much in the pot, and went. So
and we came up with a little bowling trophy from somewhere. Can't remember where.
That's fun. Good times.
So yeah, that was a good time.
But that was barbecue back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't about who scored, and it wasn't about team of the year, and it wasn't about any of this other stuff. It was just about memories. And there was some drinking involved sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah.
There you
most
go.
of the time. But it was just about
having fun.
We all traveled together.
Right.
I mean, we just all, oh, you're not going there? Oh, we're not going there if you're not going there. You know, we just all traveled way out of our way to go different places just to cook together.
Yeah.
Even though we only knew one person could win, we were still going just because we wanted to go.
Because of the fun.
We didn't avoid anybody. We didn't avoid anybody. We just wanted to go because it was the fun.
That's fun.
And I think that's what they have to do with barbecue now is they got to figure out how to bring fun back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
They need to bring Randy back.
Randy, you think you're going to be the national spokesperson for fun?
I always have been the national spokesman for fun.
Reverend Randy. We haven't called him the Reverend lately.
The Reverend Randy Twyford.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we should.
Anyway.
We should. You know, the Modesto, California. Every time I hear that damn Modesto, California, I'm like, whoa.
There's a church out there, and Randy's ordained from there.
Ordained. You still got the plaque? Or the,
It's around here
piece of
somewhere
paper?
in a yeah,
box?
it is in a box somewhere. I've seen it before. It's got broken. It's around here.
Here's what I'm saying. Let's bring the fun back to barbecue. The three of us. You know what? I'll bring my brother too, so he can learn a thing or two. And let's hit a competition.
Maybe he can just run the pits while we fuck off all the time.
There you go. That'd be
also
fun with me.
Seems more realistic.
That'd be fun with me.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's do it. Cue the mic. Takes on a barbecue competition. I just want to experience it one time. Once would be enough.
Once be enough.
Yeah. From
You get addicted.
beginning to end.
Hooked.
I don't think I will.
You'd get
You don't
hooked.
think so?
No, I don't like cooking enough. I
It's
made
not
those
about
bell
cooking.
peppers.
It's not about cooking.
It sounds also expensive, and I don't have that kind of money. So,
It is kind of expensive.
but one time, you guys sponsor, I'll go. Comedic relief. Can split it. You guys can split it. What would it be? I don't know. 50, and I'll just go. I was going to try to pitch in, but
50 and I'll go.
yeah, I actually can't. I was going to pitch in, but I can't, so I'll just go.
I think that was a
Maybe.
good recap of some of the highlights of content.
I agree.
I tell you what,
Something lighthearted.
maybe we could maybe we should put up a link and have our listeners sponsor.
Yes.
There you go.
No, screw
Everybody,
that.
I'll put up
We're
my
not-
Venmo.
no,
Everybody
we're-
send me money.
No, we're not asking for
Every
money on this
sponsor, cue the mic.
podcast.
No.
Right, we don't do sponsors. Also,
Yeah.
Darren's loaded. He can do it. He's a big kid.
Yeah, yeah. Darren's loaded. Yeah.
But yeah, Cue the Mic's going to take on a barbecue competition next. I can't wait. That'll be our team name, Cue the Mic. And then everyone can come talk to us. The star of the show. And you two.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh,
Anyway. All right. You guys got anything else?
I don't have a
yeah,
thing.
It's past
my
Randy's bed.
Past
Past
my
Randy's
bedtime.
bedtime.
My alarm's
Pretty
already
close
went
to
off.
mine.
Your
All right.
alarm went off past your bedtime.
Yeah.
Well,
Is Marla already snuggled in, or is she asleep
Hell
on the couch?
no.
Listen, she's asleep on the couch watching Fox News.
She's sitting in the chair watching Fox News.
Yeah.
okay. Well, that was episode 65 of Cue the Mic. If you haven't already, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod, YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Subscribe, like, do all the things. Randy,
Randy,
hit us with it.
Boom. Out of here.
boom.
Done.
We're
Out of here.
We're,
Done. Finished.
We're out of here. Somebody please send us some content. I'm really sick of staring at these guys, wondering what we're going to talk about and having to come up with the idea all the time.
Hey,
That's our
I did a good
challenge.
job
That's
today. That's
our
me.
challenge. That's our challenge to people is to send us questions and ideas that we can cuss and discuss.
Otherwise,
comments.
Otherwise, next time we're just going to stare at the screen for an hour.
We're not going to do that. That's really hard.
Yeah, we
Well, if it's an audio podcast, it would just be silent, which would
I
be
know.
bad.
And they're
Yeah.
really going to hate it. We thought we're going to
Yeah.
hum.
No. Okay. Well, that
I
was
met a girl
episode
from
65.
New York City.
Oh, okay. And we'll see you guys next week.